Fourth and final meeting of the year between the Golden State Warriors. This particular group, they just lost for the Phoenix, Arizona. It is the Suns shotgun as Ryan Dunn goes with the long snap. And Bradley Beal gets the offense going, ends up in Booker's hands, and that comes up short. Podziemski with
in terms of rebounding, Podziemski, Draymond, Jimmy Butler, they are great positional rebounders. And when you think about how the game is played, Podziemski there with the force, but able to find the bottom of the net. But they be bigger, and you have to play in so much more space. It really creates more opportunities for your perimeter players to rebound the basketball.
Bradley Beal guarded by Curry, lost his footing for a moment. Suns have lost 5 straight. They had a rough road trip. Lost in New York Sunday at Madison Square Garden. Corner 3 is an air ball. Green is there for the board. Here come the Warriors. Warriors have won 5 of 6. They've won 14 of their last 18. And Butler has made
about it. That trio of Curry, Green, and Butler may have the highest collective basketball IQ in the league.
Warriors have been able to close games now. They were riding about 500 in clutch games throughout the year.
They can react as well as anybody in the game right now collectively.
Devin Booker, a flurry of moves, able to lay it in. And the Suns are on the board behind their all-time leading Devin Booker, who went for 40 against the Knicks on Sunday. 40 points in 40 minutes in a losing cause. Draymond Green fouled on his...
out there, so if you're patient, you can have success in the paint.
Draymond Green, first of 2 at the line. 6th was the Jimmy Butler trade. Golden State lost that night to the Lakers. They were a game under 500, 16 games behind Oklahoma City. But since then, a 21-6 record as Bradley Beal sticks the landing on a 3. Right back come the Warriors. Moody in the corner. That's his spot over there. Booker against Curry. Runs into the double team. 2 to shoot. Royce O'Neal knocks down a 3.
Really good offense there. And ball move. Last possession, you can see some of the issues for the Suns. They get a live ball turnover as Moody's able to knock down that corner 3. And yet, because of the
3-headed monster that they were counting on, and they've sold a lot of tickets here. It's a great fan base supporting this team. Got off to a good start, but you could see the holes in their roster to support their 3 stars, especially as they dealt with injuries with each of those guys at some point.
Yeah, and as phenomenal a talent as Bradley Beal is, trying to integrate, because he and Booker in a lot of ways have played the same position and feature a similar skill set.
They had won 4 in a row, and then they dropped 5 in a row. They were actually inside the play-in just a couple of weeks ago, but a rough road trip. And 5 straight losses has it on the outside looking in. Curry doing some dancing and able to bury the 3.
How about the 2-man action there?
On Sunday, he has been on a great scoring run for Golden State. That was a shocking stat line. And if you watch that game, Curry is 1 for 10 from the field, 1 of 8 from 3-point range.
Who are a terrific defensive team. But part of the issue as you get older is it's not that your ceilings aren't as high as Kuminga able to get the deuce there. It's that your floor is lower.
It doesn't make sense. He did pass Reggie Miller on the all-time scoring list, however. Late clock once again. Beal's got it, drives on Buddy Hield, and scores that little runner.
That was just again, but wait, the start in the half court to create looks.
Stops a 9-0 Warriors run, and Steph Curry right back at it. There'll be no 3-point game here tonight. Run here for Golden State, and they lead it by 9. I think if you're Steve Kerr and the Warriors, you want to take every ounce of kick how he was going to come out of it. But Steve Kerr made a point earlier that, Mike Dunleavy played with Jimmy Butler. He kind of had an idea what this could, that the Warriors thought it would. Curry on the steal. Suns turn it over. Buddy Hield trapped, and Draymond Green, and it's blocked by O'Neal. And we welcome you, PHX Arena in Phoenix. Brian Anderson with Greg Anthony and Lauren Jabara. Nixon Summer in Phoenix. The Warriors already up 10. They used a 9-0 run. The Jimmy Butler effect is real. And Jimmy Butler, Steph Curry and the Warriors, GA, they've won 5 of their last 6 games, and they believe they can beat anybody now, and they're trying to play their way inside the top 6.
And they should believe it with how they played, and then defensively they've been at a different level. If that had gone in, that wouldn't have been fair. That was Steph trying to draw a foul there.
Colin Gillespie turns it over.
And Warriors with possession.
Phoenix, no more challenges the rest of the game. Another turnover for Phoenix. And Curry working on Gillespie. Little floater, no good, but he gets his own putback. Curry always active, net and in. Curry's got 9 points after scoring just 3 against the Rockets on Sunday as Oso Ighodaro scores it. The rookie out of Mark Ighodaro. Curry being hounded by Gillespie. Keeps the dribble, finds some open space, and a mid-range jumper is good.
Okay, if you're Gillespie, though, you'd almost not have to deal with all the misdirection and the screens.
Does his best work when he's off the ball, right? Gillespie misses a 3. He's Santos with the rebound. His first minutes on the floor, running with Looney. Warriors start small, but now their big lineup out there with Kuminga and Looney. And that one hits the backboard. Up ahead to Booker, coming off a 40-point game against the Knicks at Madison Square Garden. Off the glass and good in 10 games after they had won 4 in a row. Just came off a tough road trip with 4 games to go. Wow, Curry, he is on one tonight. He makes, it was a 3-pointer at the end of the first half, and that was it. 3 points on Sunday. It is a totally different story here tonight.
And it's demoralizing. Fade away.
Curry's got 2 threes, 4 away from 300 again this year. It would be the 6th occasion that firing tonight.
Yeah, how about having a 4-game stretch where you score 3 points and still average 34? Yeah. that's amazing. And you give Houston a lot of credit defensively, but the reality is at this level, nobody's stopping the truly great ones unless they're a little off in a scenario like that.
Podziemski lines up a 3 from the wing. He has been red hot. Brandon Podziemski, 19 against Houston. He's shooting over 50% from 3-point range since he's come back from injury. This is his 10th game back. Devin Booker. They switch it. Now Looney's on him. Late clock. Suns have been late in the clock quite often here in this first half.
Shots late in the shot clock on the defensive side. How do you continue stifling them here in the second quarter?
You got to defend without fouling. You know, we're doing a good job of helping each other. Coming over to help on drive.
All over the floor. And that's really the difference in the modern game. You have got to be able to impact the game the entire half court because of the greatness of the shooting today. And if you...
There's a lot of his defensive success may not show up in the statistics. It's not going to maybe show up in a block or Steve Kerr told us earlier today, and they're making a strong pitch for Draymond to be Defensive Player of the Year. He blows up plays before they even get started to change the game.
I think he should have a really strong opportunity to win it. Again, a lot of times people get caught up in analytics and just pure numbers. You got to watch to see how guys can impact the game. And there's nobody in this league any better at blowing up the opposing offense than Draymond Green.
Jimmy Butler gets a post up with Grayson Allen. Butler and Podziemski have been a great combo as well, and Podziemski sticks that mid-range jumper.
And it's empowered Brandon Podziemski. He has really allowed that young man to kind of flourish, giving him some nuance to his game, and he has exploded.
Grayson Allen, acrobatic basket. Makes it an 11-point game. Warriors with the ball and the lead as we are underway in this second quarter. Golden State in a logjam of teams in the middle of the West with 32 losses. trying to break free from that, trying to get themselves into the top 6 and the bye into the playoffs. Grayson Allen hits a 3. So Allen back-to-back possessions. It's a
His second unit defensively been much better here to start this second quarter.
Richards able to secure the rebound. No Devin Booker on the floor. This is Allen and Bradley Beal time. And Allen, another 3. Comes up short. Pajinski's always been a great rebounder. That was an easy one for him. Green drives it, drops it. Trace Jackson Davis is fouled by Richards. Good movement there.
That's just one of the things I've loved.
Warriors have put together a nice bench. In addition to Jimmy Butler, has given them a lot of depth, as Jackson Davis has had the greatest effect on a franchise among the trades this year. That was the trade. I tell you, Jimmy Butler running right there.
I'm a huge Luka fan. I think you could make a strong argument that Jimmy Butler's had a bigger impact. I mean, just based on the fact of where their record is. Look at, I mean, they have been dominant since he has come on, and look at the numbers from a defensive standpoint, offensively, what they've been able to do there. 4 pass by Pajinski.
Both franchises have been the Lakers and the Warriors, and both feel like they can beat anybody in the West. Well, the West is so strong. I mean, wouldn't surprise you to see a first-round loss among that group of teams, minus maybe Oklahoma City, and wouldn't surprise you if they had a finals run for that group of teams either.
Yeah, that Western Conference, man, really 1 through 8.
It over to Lauren Jabara.
Yeah, I was talking to Draymond Green about this. I'm like, do you guys look at the standings? He said, well, we all have social media, right? Of course we look, but we don't focus on it. He's like, I'm not sitting there looking like, oh, man. He's like, the way I see it is if we win out, we guarantee ourselves a top 6 spot. That's the goal. But we've been around long enough to know that you don't allow that to influence any type of extra pressure or emotions. He said, we hated losing that Houston game. Win out. And the way that we've gotten here, winning each game in 21-6 since Jimmy has gotten here, we have that belief that these next 4, we're going to do it.
Yeah, good stuff there, Lauren. Curry goes up top. Jackson Davis throws it down.
And that's a great play by Curry. Corner that caused that turnover that got him out of transition. Here's another. Their defense is dark since Butler's come over.
7 turnovers now for Phoenix. What a pass. Curry never stops. So hard to stay with him when he is off the ball. Biggest lead for Golden State. Devin Booker back on the floor. Keith Santos tries to guard him. Booker gets himself some space.
They needed that basket
of the season. It ends on Sunday. All afternoon games on Sunday. All the East starts at the same time, and the entire West as well. And then we get into the week of the play-in and the play-in tournament. There's still a lot to be determined. Here's Stephen Curry, pops free, comes up short. Allen lost the handle. 6 offensive rebounds for Golden State, and once again, Curry sets up Jackson Davis. The second time in the left. Foul on Allen, chance at a 3-point play for Jackson Davis, now in his second year. After 4 years at Indiana. Tomorrow, Lakers Mavs, that'll be one to watch. Nuggets and Kings. Thursday on TNT, we've got Cavs, Pacers, and then Wolves, Grizzlies. The Denver Nuggets sending shockwaves through the NBA today, GA. Firing Calvin Booth, the head of basketball operations, and Michael Malone there.
A lot of people, if anyone saw that coming, there have been some rumblings, and that team has definitely been struggling here of late. Another turnover by Phoenix.
Stephen Curry goes coast to coast, lays it in with the left hand. Curry stacking them up. He's got 17.
Unreal. And hasn't really had to work hard for those baskets.
Corner 3, no good. Here's Kuminga. Gets inside, drops it off. Keith Santos able to lay it in. And all of a sudden, Golden State on this 14-4 run. His voice heard, letting Tyler Ford know about it. Iguodala back on the floor. Running with Booker here. Hield tried to guard Devin Booker. Booker rises up with a mid-range jumper, no good, and there's Looney with a
For Phoenix to create good looks offensively.
And Curry draws the contact.
Jimmy Butler's come on board.
I thought Steve Kerr had a great line as Curry misses a three. He said Jimmy Butler unlocks Stephen Curry's activity off the ball and how productive he can be off the ball. And that was something that was missing with this Warriors team. And all of a sudden, one player comes in, everybody falls in line, everybody's in the right spot, and Curry can do his thing and be Stephen Curry once again, even at age 37. And that moment is second to none in this league, still at age 37.
It's unreal. And to that point, because now you've got Butler and Green that both understand how to use him and are always looking to create opportunities for him. And it just makes them the growth they've had in this stretch as well. They are a really difficult team. They put you in difficult spots offensively. And again, all we've seen here is turnovers in the half court.
That's 9 for the Suns. Kuminga back tap, keeps it alive. Buddy Hield cashes one. Second chance opportunity. The offensive rebounds are stacked. They've got 7. They've turned it into 11 second chance points. It's all going Golden State's way here as they're up 21 over the Suns. Losers of 6 straight after they had won 4 in a row. Royce O'Neal, no good. It's a 17-4, and they came out with force in this first half, trying to take the Suns right out of it mentally, and they're doing just that. Looney on a rim run, set up by Curry.
It's been a little offensively for Phoenix. They just don't have any rhythm, and everything is 5, 6, 7 dribbles for Booker to try to create something, and that's got to be frustrating.
Timeout on the floor here. The Warriors 58-35. 26-point lead as we start this third quarter. Stephen Curry leads all scorers with, or leads the Warriors, I should say, with 19. Booker leads all scorers with 21. And Bradley Beal able to run that one down. Beal with 5 first half points as Green stands up tall against Knicks' point. Golden State lead. We're just underway in this third quarter. Ryan Anderson with Greg Anthony and Lauren Jabara. As Majewski whips it around. And Curry in the corner, automatic. Stephen Curry with 22 now. And he is 3 three-pointers away from 300 this year as O'Neal misfires, and that is going to be goal. Anybody move the number like that?
I've not seen a line move that much.
Majewski gives it up. Curry drives it, and wow, the little finger roll on the teardrop.
Just make it look easy.
Ryan Dunn misses in the corner. Moody. Oh, Moody powers one down. Very little resistance. Tell you, the Suns don't watch out. If they don't step up a little bit on defense, I mean, they got a chance to get beat by 40.
Yeah, I think even if they step it up, if they're also struggling to score.
It's been that kind of year for the Suns, and they are, even though they're not mathematically eliminated, they are eagerly awaiting the end of the season. That'll be a kickball.
Make him their point of attack defender in that starting unit. He's going to get the assignment of the best perimeter player. Embrace that challenge and really found a nice niche for himself in this rotation.
Nick Richards with a mid-range jumper. Warriors keeping a close eye on that scoreboard. Minnesota lost to Milwaukee today at Fiserv Forum. How about the Bucks? Dropped 40 points in the fourth quarter. They outscored Minnesota 40-13, and the Wolves lost in Memphis in another key game to start the day. They were one of the teams locked up with 32 losses in that very congested Western Conference. O'Neal missed it with the left hand. Right now it's Minnesota, Memphis, Clippers, Warriors. Those are the 4 teams that all started at 46 and 32. spots 5 through 8 kind of up for grabs. That means you'll have, as Butler hits a turnaround, that means you're going to have two teams of that group that will make it into the...
That'll be playing each other.
There still is the possibility to bump up to the 3-4 position, depending on what happens. And obviously the Nuggets are trying to put some pieces back together today after they made changes. As Butler drives it, dunks it, is fouled. And this is turning common
playing tonight, so we don't know how that one's going to turn out, but quarter. Well, I tell you, that first round, even those playing games,
they're going to be great.
That's why you want to avoid it, because as you know all too well, anybody's capable of being beaten one time.
Draymond gets a steal. Podziemski, Curry with the pass fake and missed the layup. Memphis beat Charlotte tonight, by the way. So they're one of the teams hanging in there. And of course, they just had a coaching change as well. Taylor Jenkins let go, 9 games remaining in the season. And then the Denver Nuggets beer. And Michael Malone ousted with 4 games left in the season.
And Calvin Booth. Like they cleaned from that. We'll be hearing over the next several days. And that one's going to be interesting, too, to see what happens if Bradley Beal able to get a boost. Big picture, right? Because that team right now has really been struggling.
See how Steve Kerr works a rotation here the rest of this game. They've got a game tomorrow night. They play San Antonio back at Chase Center, San Francisco. Warriors will be back home tomorrow. And their finishing schedule is pretty favorable. They've got the Spurs tomorrow. They go to Portland, and then the one team that has given them fits this year, the LA Clippers, on Sunday to finish the season. As Allen bumps Buddy Hield.
And that game could be really important.
And, you know, if you don't want to be in that play-in scenario, finish inside the top 6, and then you get the bye to the best of 7 in the first round. But, yeah, it's got that one-and-done feel to it. The winner go home vibe early. Devin Booker misses the 3. Offensive rebound is Bradley Beal. And Curry with a rebound. Jonathan Kuminga, a burst, and Allen pushes him down. It's a foul first, no shot, says Danielle Scott.
And that was a level of frustration rise. You talked about it. They've already on a 5-game losing streak. They do get a technical.
Jonathan Kuminga. Good to see him back and healthy. Kuminga, now he becomes a major weapon off that bench, and all of a sudden, as I mentioned, Golden State's got some depth to their roster now. They were playing so many different combinations, different starting lineups. Steve Kerr talked to us about that before the game. He said, you know, the trade kind of thinned our rotations, and we could get a little more disciplined on what the actual rotation, the 8, sometimes 9-man rotation is going to be.
And the fact that all these guys now in that rotation have a real understanding of their role, what's going to be expected of them, and how they have to play with this group.
And Lauren Jabbar, all those concerns about some of the holes in the small lineup, it's been anything but. That's been brilliant for Steve Kerr. They're 14-1, that particular starting 5.
It really has been. He said it's all about keeping your defensive shell in attack. If you have guys driving, getting to the rim every time, it's really hard to rebound. But if you're good defensively, like our group has been, and you keep the ball in front of you, it makes rebound opportunities so much easier. Then once we get those, we're faster. We can get out and run, push the tempo. He said, I think the lineup's been really great for us. And then Brandon Podziemski also said, it starts with our IQ. He said that group of 5 is our smartest players. Understanding the floor is supposed to look like a game of chess, and we've done a really good job creating that chemistry. We need to continue that moving forward the regular season.
It's a fascinating study. Thanks, Lauren. I mean, this is a starting 5 that is causing some havoc around the league, and they're tough to beat. The Houston Rockets, the first team that's beat that particular group.
Yeah, and to Draymond's point, and Lauren described it beautifully, what happens is that shell, when you force the defense to be compromised, that's what puts you in rotation. And so if I don't have to get in rotation, it allows you to keep bodies on bodies.
And Looney inside. Misses that layup on Iguodaro. Warriors trying to advance to 47-32, and you can tell they are playing with a fervor here in the third, even with a big lead, to try to put this game away here, GA.
Yeah, they know they play tomorrow, and if you got a chance to not allow Phoenix to have any hope of coming back and being able to rest Steph and Jimmy, but it's close.
Where's Don Meredith when you need him? I know you go back far enough to know that.
You did remind me of the good old days.
Turn out the lights. Lord is over. Don Meredith used to sing that on Monday Night Football back in the day. As Grayson Allen hits a three-pointer. Controls here with Kuminga. And he'll fire up a three. Podziemski missed it. Kuminga's there for the offensive rebound. Look at the ground that Kuminga just covered to get that offensive board and put back.
That's the thing, the element he gives them that you don't get out of that starting five is he is a next level athlete that can win possessions for you.
Podziemski. And the lefty can't hit it. Guy Santos is there. His rebounds are coming easy for the Warriors. And Podziemski reigns in another three-pointer. It's been like that.
Yo, keep up the late. I love you, buddy. I love you.
So I heard Greg Popovich do that with Tim Duncan so many times.
Yeah.
Steve Kerr would have probably been on the receiving end of that from Greg Popovich. And just reminding Buddy Hield to look for Steve Kerr and to look for Stephen Curry. I think that was after that. Yeah. Buddy Hield took a corner three early in the shot clock. What I would say about Greg Popovich is that he didn't have the laugh and the hug at the end.
No.
He was, let me introduce you to Tim Duncan. He's the greatest player in the world. Pass him the blank.
But then he'd come back later and give you a hug. He was,
of course.
Pop was of that tough love school.
Pat Spencer getting some minutes here in the fourth.
The best to ever do it.
Coming back from a stroke, and here he's doing well. And we're thinking of you, Pop, as always, and a lot of Pop influence all over the NBA, especially in this game. Of course, Mike Budenholzer went from the video room to the assistant coach's bench, and Steve Kerr was still playing in those days, as Mason Plumlee able to put that.
Mike talking about Mike was the video coordinator, if I'm not mistaken, initially.
Had 19 years as an assistant. Massacre.
You know how I feel about San Antonio. I'm of the Charles Barkley school when it comes to San Antonio.
Oh, you were on a team you guys had too. I thought that was a championship team, which you never know when you get to the playoffs. As Brian Dunn hits a three-pointer. Floor here. Dunn's the only starter. Iguodaro, Martin, Jones, and Plumlee. And then the Warriors have Kuminga and Buddy Hield with Santos, Jackson Davis, and Spencer. And Iguodaro able to put it in. They're just got to figure out a way to get around all the salary that's owed, and because of their high salary and where they are, they're limited somewhat in what they can do. So how they rebuild it is a major question. We remind you that the NBA on TNT tonight from Phoenix, they could have potential for some draft picks, but hard to get impact draft picks at this point. I guess the major question is Kevin Durant going to be a Sun next year? You figure teams that would have their hand up for KD.
Yeah, listen, the interest is going to be there. There's no question. Kevin Knox knocks down that triple. What return will you get? Is it going to be enough, if you were to go in that direction, that would allow you to compete in that Western Conference?
Extra pass to Lee. And Jackson Davis with a rebound. Just getting a good run in right now. Both of these teams play tomorrow. Here's Knox. Little sidestep. Nice move. Kevin Knox trying to, he had some star potential about him. hasn't turned out that way. It's hard to believe he's in his 7th year now, Kevin Knox. Jackson Rowe defending. Iguodaro can't hit. Maybe some of these guys to get some extra run. Great opportunity for some of these guys to get some extra run. Guy Santos from
defensive player, but he has been locked in defensively, really has a good grasp of what they want to do. It's been terrific here tonight.
Tello 7-74. And Knox, Rowe the rebound, sets up Santos, not a chance. Spencer, got it.
You can see the bench, obviously, they all love Spencer. They're up out of their seats after that triple.
They converted his two-way contract, GA, to a standard NBA deal. What a moment for Pat Spencer to be in the floor. Spencer knocks down his second three as Martin misses. Spencer the rebound. They push it. And knocks to the basket. Blocked by Martin. Job recovering.
This is an impressive race that from your memory bank when you come out with a performance like this.
Jackson Rowe at floor for Phoenix. Lauren Jabara, Warriors, as we mentioned when we hit the air, the window has been reopened. They're going to win 15 of their last 19 games, and they are having some fun doing it.
They definitely are, BA, and I had a really long conversation with Draymond Green this morning. He said, you know, we have 4 core values on this team, and one of them is joy, to play with joy. He said it's ironic that Jimmy was saying, yo, I need to get my joy back, and he found it here. But when you also have a leader, we've all found it. It's a really good group. I asked Draymond, have you tried that Big Face coffee? And he said, I also asked Brandon Pajemski if he's tried it. He goes, no, I heard that's expensive, still on a rookie deal.
And right on cue, those two are laughing and smiling. I tell you, GA, it's got to be, and you play with some guys like this, and you were one of those guys, but to play with Stephen Curry, as big of a star as there is in the game, to be his teammate, though, and the way he cheers for you, dances for you, celebrates with you with your success and his success. Every day, and we've covered Stephen Curry for all these years now. He always shows up ready to play, the same guy every day. Never see him in a bad mood to start a game.
Yeah, and it's such a great point you guys bring up, because as incredible as a talent that Steph Curry is, he's a great teammate. You know, that's one thing that everyone, just the court. You know, it's how you interact off, what you do, and when you're the best player and one of the leaders, there's a lot of responsibility that comes with that. And not everybody wants that responsibility. Steph embraces it, and you can see that joy and the love that they all have for one another.
Rowe fouled. He'll go to the free throw line.
Suns fouls on number 10, Damian Lee, his first personal.
Well, he was great tonight once again. 25 points in 26 minutes for Stephen Curry. 3-pointers, 300 in a season. And I'm sure that'll be look out for tomorrow night against San Antonio.
Yeah. Let's get the pleasure of voting for all of our postseason awards. And tell you, all NBA teams are going to be really interesting. A lot of deserving players.
Well, once we got past the All-Star break, you could really see the athletes playing with the passion to advance and win the competitive way to bring it to you here on TNT. It's going to be our last go-around on TNT this year, our last playoff run. That's a block, but recovered there by Jackson Davis. And the Warriors have gone up over 120 now.
The thing about this postseason, they can win it all, especially in that Western Conference.
Oh, goodness. And Davis destroying the rim, and Draymond Green first on his feet. Look at that. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, we're late in the game. These guys could easily just sit back and chill. They're all up celebrating their teammates right now. Man. Had a couple on the lobs from Curry earlier. Spencer. Oh, yeah.
They are just clowning right now.
In the pack, he's sitting amongst the fans in the first row. Ryan Gillespie hits a toss in Milwaukee tonight. All those teams in the middle of the pack in the West. Memphis beat Charlotte. Clippers playing San Antonio. Well, we had an overtime thriller.
Wasn't even close. Wasn't close, buddy.
Boston beat the Knicks here, 39 points. And that was just the other day against Houston. Houston scored 148 in that game as Monte Morris. We'll be back on the air Tuesday for the play-in after our doubleheader Thursday.
For the New York Knicks and their fan base. My first game is to get a hard foul. Fans boo you. And it was shocking. So to go from that to where you're down 40.
When you're Chester from Poland.
That's impressive.
And he loves the NBA. The translating apps on his phone.
Yeah.
TNT postgame show presented by Kia. And a lot to talk to make it a coaching change.
So they said, Brock said there is no direct translation in Polish for Chester.
Is that right?
Yeah, I'm shocked by that.
Well, thanks for that, Greg.
No, don't thank me, thank Brock. Or Chat GPT, what, I got them all, whatever one you need.
GA's playing hurt tonight. He blew his Achilles. He's got the boot on.
Oh, man.
No problem. That's what you get.
Man.
That's what
Golf game, just, man, my club's at home right now in the garage.
collecting dust.
Giving.
One last shot for the Warriors.
It's like my first girlfriend in high school.
Oh, really?
Woo. Man, I'm going to just leave it at that.
Oh, no. You made it this whole way.